Welcome back to the Aging Well Radio Hour, heard Thursdays from 9 to 10 right here on WENG. We are your information station for all of Southwest Florida. Well, have been looking forward to this interview. I'm so happy to introduce to you world-renowned alchemist Adora Winquist. She is the author of her newest global book release on alternative medicine, offering a revolutionary guide to transforming your health and nourishing your well-being on the road to self-discovery. We all can probably use a little more of that. Detox, Nourish, Activate, plant and vibrational medicine for energy, mood, and love. I tell you what, I'm so happy to have you this morning. Good morning, Adora.
Good morning, Carrie. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here with you.
Well, I'm so glad to have you. We all need some better health in our life, I'm sure. And it's not just the physical side of it. We're talking spiritual side, too. I was reading through your information, whether somebody is recovering from trauma, somebody may not even be aware of it, Adora. We do need to detox. We need to nourish. We need to keep our brain active. There's so many different things I want to talk to you about. So first, let's start with your background, Adora.
Sure. So as a young child, I was always enamored with nature. I felt much more comfortable outside with the plants and natural aspects of the world. And so this really took me to so many interesting places in my life. So, for example, I moved to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, really the first time that I was away from home at 19.
Okay.
And every year I would get bronchitis brought about by allergies. And so here I was on the Cape, didn't have a lot of money, didn't have health insurance, and had a very serious case of bronchitis. And somewhere I heard about herbal medicine. I went out and bought a book and 5 different herbs.
Cool.
Thyme, eucalyptus, licorice root, and fresh ginger.
Okay.
And I went home and I made a tea and was amazed by how quickly my lungs healed. In fact, had not had bronchitis since then. And let me just say it's been a few years in between.
We won't say how many, Adora.
Exactly. But this is such a wonderful recipe that many, many people through the years asked me for, and it's actually included in the book under the Heart Activate section with the herb hyssop. But anyway, this led me to making other teas and tinctures and having anyone in my circle of loved ones that was feeling under the weather that agreed to it to use them to enhance their well-being and to heal. And somewhere along the way, I found essential oils.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just knew that it was my passion. I started formulating and working on specifically blends for myself. And about that same time, I became interested in vibrational healing. And you may be familiar with the term Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and had a Reiki attunement and training, and this was back in the mid-'90s, where this was still a relatively new modality. And I was just blown away by the fact that after receiving this attunement, I could see these colors around people. Different people had different colors. So to me, I was fascinated and wanted to learn more. Not only that, I started to see how using Reiki healing on myself and my loved ones really shifted things from not just a physical level, but an emotional level.
Okay.
And for someone who had struggled with depression and anxiety essentially my whole life, this to me felt like gold. So I started a professional study with both energy healing and essential oils, and then found I wanted to create a business that encapsulated my two passions. So infusing essential oil formulas with positive energy, with intention, because they're so malleable from that regard. And we can really find a way to make our own medicine based on our needs from a physiological perspective, from an emotional perspective, mentally as well as spiritually. And then we have a tool at our fingertips that really can not only enhance our healing journey, but really deepen our experience of well-being.
Absolutely.
Which is so powerful, especially right now while we're all looking for more ways for self-responsibility for our health, for our well-being, for just the simplest, but not always the easiest ways to feel better.
Right.
And I think that's one of the really wonderful aspects about the book is that even if you're new to some spiritual philosophy or you think perhaps that that's New Age, there is something in this book for every single person, even from the most tangible day-to-day experience of wanting more energy, wanting to feel better consistently, and wanting to have deeper experiences of relationship and giving and receiving love.
Absolutely. It's so important. And you brought up the tea in your background. I ordered some organic turmeric and ginger tea, and the loose stuff, which I love. And I just ordered it from Amazon, Adora. And when I don't take the tea, when I miss a day without it, my joints start to ache. Okay.
Yes.
And it's
absolutely.
so true because the tea helps. And I have lung issues too. I had asthma as a kid, and when I don't take it, I really notice things. I'm not as clear. I don't feel as well. So you are absolutely right. Your new book is Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love. You talk about such great information in your book, including heart detox. What are some signs that we need to detox our heart? Are you speaking in a physical sense or a spiritual sense or both?
Well, I think that both aspects are incredibly important. One of the things that my co-author and plant ally, Dr. Lulu Schmidt, who's a naturopathic physician, one of the things that we talk about in the book is healing from an infinite perspective. And if you look throughout the book, you'll see a lot of sacred geometric images, but specifically the infinity symbol. And one of the reasons that we chose the infinity symbol is that for sustainable, significant shifts in healing, we really need to approach healing from both the physiological perspective, right, having a deep awareness and connection to listen to our body, because it's such a great guidance or GPS system for our health and vitality, as well as looking at those psycho-spiritual dynamics, right, looking at aspects of our emotional well-being, our mental clarity, and our spiritual connection, which is something that can sustain us when life brings challenges and adversity, because we all experience that, right? Whether we want to call it adversity or we want to call it trauma. And so from my perspective, as a healer, my specialty is working with the psycho-spiritual dynamics, the esoteric philosophy, and then the aspects of plant and vibrational medicine, specifically essential oils. So when I'm talking to my clients and teaching on heart detox, my query is, where are the places in your heart that you still carry the pain of the past? Whether it's through betrayal in relationship, whether it's through the grief of loss, right, loss of loved ones, whether it's for the disconnection from deep, intimate relationships that nourish you. So I'm really looking at those aspects of where do you hold heartache? And where does that heartache limit you from experiencing more joy in your life? Where does that heartache and anything that you've experienced in your past limit you from opening your heart to love again? Because we all crave love. And at the deepest levels, we crave to be seen, to be understood, to be embraced and loved for who we truly are. And what that is, that's like the water and the nutrients and the sun for all of the plants in the garden, right? That's how they flourish. And that's how we flourish as humans. And that's how we can move into a life of thriving from just being in a life of surviving.
Yeah, and there's no shame in it, Adora. There's no shame in having trauma. We all have had something like that.
We've all had. Yeah, we've all had it. And that's one of the aspects of this book, is to be able to look at the places in your past where you have experienced trauma. We offer these wonderful discovery dives where you can be introspective and honoring of yourself and your journey, with the idea that every single step that you've taken along the way in your path of life has brought you perfectly here and now to be able to heal, to be able to transform at the level of your DNA, at the quantum level,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to heal the past and illuminate and create the life that you've always longed to live.
Yep. I was reading a little bit more signs that you need a heart detox physically. Maybe
Mm.
someone might be experiencing, Adora, emotional and physical distress like cold feet and hands, swelling,
Yeah.
thick blood clotting, abdominal, urinary pH problems, clogged arteries, sluggish blood flow, decreased oxygenation, shortness of breath, high or low blood pressure. Those are a lot of different. Those are a lot of different ailments that are listed there, so that the heart detox can really help.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
I think that one thing it does is helps to bring a greater understanding to our physiology, right?
Okay.
And then as someone, a reader, is looking at these aspects and saying, gee, I really have a lot of these symptoms here.
Yeah.
And it brings them into a deeper awareness and contact with their body to listen, which then the next step would be to be able to go see their physician and
Mm-hmm.
talk more candidly, more openly about some of these symptoms in a way that kind of demystifies, right? Because I think a lot of the times we don't want to talk about what's going on in our body because perhaps we're afraid that there's something really wrong or we want to ignore it. But when we can listen to our body, especially for those early signs that something is just a little bit off, and be able to have the support from our physician, from our healthcare team, really bringing in the alternative medicine as an adjunct to physician support and any diagnosis that's needed, really gives us a sense of empowerment over our own health and well-being.
Okay. So what are some of the ways we can detox the heart, Adora? By the way, we are speaking with Adora Winquist. She is author of her newest global book release on alternative medicine, DNA. We're calling it for short, Detox, Nourish, Activate.
Yeah.
Because I was reading a little bit more, if you can go a little deeper into addressing the heart detox, rather, some recipes and nutrition tips, because I am so fascinated with the last one that's on here, cranberry garlic. I've never even heard of that.
Mm, cranberries have so much nutrition to offer.
Love them.
One of the things that, I'm here in Mexico having a bit of a rest before the next stop on my book tour in New York and New Jersey next week.
Cool.
And one of the teas that I've been drinking almost every day, in addition to garlic, I mean, not garlic, but ginger and turmeric. So it's so funny that you mentioned
Oh,
that.
I love it. Yeah,
Has
yeah.
been Jamaica, which comes from the hibiscus, a very specific species of the hibiscus flower.
Oh, wow.
And I chose it because it's beautiful and it's vibrant and it's red. And for me, it's deeply nourishing during this restful time. But that particular flower and medicine from a plant perspective has benefits for decreasing blood pressure in normal ranges, as a support for weight loss, which is also, of course, really important for our heart health, making sure that we have good fitness
Yep.
from a physical perspective. And so this tea has been really wonderful. I've been enjoying it. It also has mild antidepressant properties,
Oh,
according
wow.
to some of the research. And so
Okay. What's it
it's
called
very
again,
common.
Adora?
Jamaica here in Mexico, but it comes from a specific species of the hibiscus flower. And I can get back to you with that Latin name, but it's really wonderful. In fact, I fell in love with it in Egypt. And there they serve it, they make the tea and add a little bit of sugar and call it carcaday and serve it as a juice in the morning, like with a apple juice or orange juice, because one of the other benefits is supporting digestive difficulties.
Okay.
And so that's a really wonderful plant or herb. Now, from a psycho-spiritual perspective, when I'm looking at detoxing the heart, one of the oils that I love is a true rose otto. And now this is where plant medicine can be simple, but not always easy. So a recommendation would be to take 1 or 2 drops of a pure rose otto essential oil and just add it to a teaspoon of coconut oil or even almond oil or jojoba, and to use this first to inhale. And one of the most powerful aspects of using essential oils is when we use them via inhalation, because of the connection between our olfactory system and the brain, but specifically the amygdala and the limbic system, which regulates so much of our physiology, mood, memory, and emotion. And this is where we can inhale the essential oils and move into a state of intentional practice to release those pains of the past that we experience within our hearts energetically and spiritually and emotionally, and how we can alleviate feelings of anxiety, because many people who have a tendency to feel anxious feel that in their chest, in that heart area. And so this combination of the essential oil diluted in the carrier is really wonderful for that. Now, when I come back to saying that it's a simple formula but not easy, this is because essential oils are very commonly adulterated. Most people have never even smelled true rose oil. Most people have smelled a synthetic oil, because a true rose oil has over 300 chemical constituents that make up its aroma, as well as its medicinal properties, which is why it's such a versatile essential oil, not only for beauty, skincare, for liver cell regeneration, but for coming into the heart and supporting us to heal those emotions from the past, so we can really move into a place of joy and that joie de vivre, right? Joy of life, which is something we all long for.
Absolutely. Now, you said rose otto. Spell that for our listeners, please.
Sure. Rose otto is going to be rose, like the traditional flower, and then otto, O-T-T-O.
Okay.
And it comes from the Latin name of Rosa Damascena. And I can send you that after. I can send you a little message for that. So this is where knowing your source of essential oils is incredibly important. I do have a selection of curated essential oils on my website, including Rose Otto.
Oh, good.
For those of your listeners that don't have a good source, but this oil is just such a wonderful, and I like to say it's a definite must-have for your aromatic arsenal.
Okay.
Because what happens is when we're inhaling those essential oils, and we're able to literally shift our emotional feeling in the moment, that creates a stepping stone effect to really be able to shift the trajectory of our emotional response for future experience, enhancing our emotional resilience, being able to harness our emotional response to garner greater clarity, mental acuity, to be able to be more open to connect not only with each other more deeply, but with ourselves. And I think from the perspective of self-care, this is so important to be able to have more presence in the moment, to be deeply connected to ourselves in a loving and compassionate and gentle way.
Yeah, it's very true, Adora. I notice that when I have a diffuser in my office at home where I do a lot of my work, and it's on my desk, and I have a couple essential oils I put in there, lemon to help kind of help to clean the air, and I also have it's called Breathe. It's like a peppermint mixed, and I enjoy it. I notice when I do that, I feel a little bit more energetic. It helps me to get a little bit more work done. I feel a little perky.
Absolutely. I love that you mentioned lemon. That is one of my favorite essential oils.
Me
it's
too.
Incredibly versatile. I always recommend getting an organic lemon, because the essential oil comes from the peel, and that's where the pesticides are sprayed. So that's one oil of many that are very important, what I would say imperative to purchase organically. You know, Carrie, they did a study many years ago in Japan where they piped lemon essential oil through the ventilation system of an office building and found that the staff had a higher rate of productivity and less of a rate of errors. So I think it's just brilliant, and how intuitive of you to have lemon diffused at your desk.
I love it.
This is something that is, I think, a beautiful message within our book, is that we all have innate wisdom within us, right? And when we can bring our focus inward and listen to that voice of wisdom, it can guide us in such a powerful way, in such a healing way, in such a way where we can align with synchronistic experiences and connections, and being in that flow state where everything seems to happen from a place of great ease and grace. And I think that is such a desire that we have, even if we aren't aware of it at a conscious level.
It's true. And here's the other thing I want our listeners to know. All this doesn't have to cost a lot of money. A diffuser is $9.99 on Amazon, okay? I got a wood one. I didn't want to have the plastic, the BPA free and all that, and they're cheap. And there are some really good essential oils out there. I can name a few like doTERRA, Young Living, whatever floats your boat. But I it doesn't have to cost a ton to have these nice little additions to your life that actually improve your quality of life in a spiritual form, physical form, emotional, all of that, Adora. So I love it. Now, what is your website? Where can our listeners go check out? I want to get that rose oil from you. So I want to order that. So we need your website. And then how can our audience get your new book?
Wonderful. Thank you, Carrie. So my website is AdoraWinquist.com. It's ADORA WINQUIST.
Okay.
Same with my social handles on LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Adora Winquist. You'll find the Rose Auto under the curated essential oil section, as well as a lot of information about my new book and different places that you can purchase it. You can either purchase a signed copy directly from my website, but you can also purchase on Amazon.com. You can purchase on BarnesandNoble.com. And you can sign up, of course, for our newsletter and find out when I'll be coming to your area to do a book signing and presentation. And then I don't know if you have any listeners in Europe, but it's also available through my publisher, Aeon Books. So it's aeonbooks.co.uk.
Yes, we do have people listening in Europe, by the way. So, Adora, this has been so much fun. Really enjoyed having you this morning on the Aging Well Radio Hour. Really appreciate all the great information, and best of luck on your book tour. I cannot wait to read your book.
Oh, thank you so much, Carrie. It's been such a pleasure.
All right.
Wishing you a blessed day, and all of your listeners, too.
You as well. Thank you, Adora. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is world-renowned alchemist Adora Winquist. She's author of her newest global book release on alternative medicine, Detox, Nourish, Activate. So I hope you'll run out and get it today. And again, her website is AdoraWinquist.com. That'll do it for the Aging Well Radio Hour here on WENG. I'm going to be gone for a few weeks on vacation. Yes, I'm going to take my diffuser and my essential oils with me, so I'll be gone for a few weeks. You stay blessed and take care of yourself, and I'll look forward to doing another show when I return right here on your information station for all of Southwest Florida. We are WENG. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day.